In this video, we are going to look at one of the most practical patterns in FastAPI security. Building a get_current_user dependency that decodes a JWT token raises a proper 401 error when something is wrong and can be dropped into any route to protect it instantly. We will also see how to layer scopes on top of that for fine-grained permissions. Imagine you have 10 routes that should only be accessible to logged-in users. Without a shared pattern, each route author has to remember to grab the authorization header, decode the JWT, check expiry, and return a 401 if anything fails. That is a lot of repeated code, and the moment one developer forgets a step, you have a security hole. There has to be a better way to centralize this logic. Think about a hotel. Every guest room has the exact same keycard scanner installed in the door. The hotel did not program each room separately to understand how keycards work. The scanner is a shared piece of hardware that either validates your card and opens the door, or rejects it. In FastAPI, get_current_user is that scanner, one reusable piece wired into every door you want to protect. There are 4 named pieces working together here. First, Auth2 password bearer is a FastAPI helper that knows how to pull the bearer token out of the authorization header. Second, get_current_user is a regular Python function marked as a dependency that takes that raw token, decodes it, and returns a typed user object. Third, when anything goes wrong, it raises an HTTP exception with a 401 status code. Fourth, you use depends to inject the result of get_current_user into any route that needs a logged-in user, and scopes let you add a layer of role or permission checks on top. Let us walk through this top to bottom. We define a user Pydantic model with a username and a list of scopes. Then Auth2_scheme is created with Auth2 password bearer. It knows the token endpoint is /token, and it advertises the 2 scopes items read and items write. The function get_current_user receives 2 arguments, security_scopes, which FastAPI populates with the scopes the current route requires, and token, which is injected by the Auth2_scheme dependency. Inside, we first build the credentials_exception we will raise on any failure. We then decode the JWT with pyJWT. If decoding fails or the subject claim is missing, we raise that 401. Next, we check that every scope the route demands is actually present in the token scopes list. If not, we raise a 403 forbidden. If everything passes, we return a user object. Finally, the route read_items uses security instead of depends. Security is like depends, but also carries the scope requirement items, read, so FastAPI passes that scope into security_scopes automatically. When a request arrives at /items, FastAPI sees the security declaration and starts resolving the dependency chain before it ever calls your function. First, Auth2_scheme tries to find the authorization header and pull out the bearer token. If it is missing, FastAPI returns a 401 immediately. If the token is present, get_current_user runs, decodes it, and scope checks it. Only if all of that succeeds does FastAPI call read_items, handing it a clean typed user. The bonus is that the scopes you declared show up automatically in the interactive Swagger docs, so your API is self-documenting. This pattern shines when you have several routes that all need authenticated users, especially when some routes need tighter permissions than others. However, if every single request in your app goes through one piece of middleware that already validates auth, adding a per-route dependency is redundant weight. Similarly, if your permission logic becomes so deeply nested, dependency calling another, it can become hard to trace who is actually allowed to do what, which is a sign to simplify. To recap, centralize your token decoding logic in a single get_current_user dependency, so every route benefits from the same consistent validation. Raise HTTP exception with a 401 status for missing or invalid tokens, and a 403 for insufficient permissions. Use security with a scopes list when a route needs more than just authentication, it needs specific permissions. And remember that all of this wires into FastAPI's generated documentation for free, which makes your API both secure and self-describing.